Hello, my dear children, and welcome back. Your exams are just around the corner, I know, but don't you worry. Today, we're going to crack a topic that's just like a detective story, but it's happening right inside our bodies. We are talking about bioinformatics. I know, it sounds a little complicated, but I promise you, we'll make it super, super simple.
So just take a nice, deep breath, relax, and get ready to solve a big, big mystery with me. Let's start. Just think about this for a second. Every single tiny cell in your body has a complete map of you. It's your DNA. It's like a huge book with crores and crores of letters. Now, with all our modern science, we can actually read this book. But the problem is, it's creating a mountain of information. So the big question, the real mystery is, with a library this huge, how do we find the secrets that are actually important? To solve this, you know every good detective needs a plan. So here is our case plan for today. First, we'll look at the big mystery itself. Then, we'll meet our special detective. After that, we'll check out their secret tools, look at a famous solved case, and finally, I'll give you a top secret file just for your exams. Ready?
Okay, first stop, let's go to the scene of the crime, or in our case, the biology lab. This is where our big mystery really begins, the data explosion. So we have these incredible modern machines, like DNA sequencers. You can think of them like super fast cameras that read our genetic code. The thing is, they produce so much information. We're talking lakhs and crores of clues every single day. No human, beta, not even the smartest scientist in the world, can go through all of this manually. It's just impossible. Imagine someone just dumps a billion-piece jigsaw puzzle right in front of you, but with no picture on the box to guide you. That's exactly what biologists are facing. All the clues are there, but they're all jumbled up. Where would you even begin to put it all together to see the whole picture? But don't you worry. When a mystery is this big, you call in a super detective. And in the world of biology, our super detective has a really cool name.
Let me introduce you to Bioinformatics. This is our hero. And what makes this detective so special? Well, it's a mix of three amazing superpowers. It has the knowledge of biology, the logic of maths and statistics, and the awesome power of computers. All these together can find hidden patterns in that giant puzzle of data.
So you might be wondering, how does the math superpower help? Well, look here. Imagine you have a long, long list of numbers, maybe the heart rates and blood pressures of 1,000 people. By itself, it's just a confusing mess, right? But with statistics, our detective can process all that data and poof, it finds a pattern, a connection. That's how we discover clues that are completely invisible to the naked eye. Now, every detective has a special toolkit with all kinds of gadgets. Our bioinformatics detective is exactly the same. Let's take a peek inside, shall we? Okay, the first and most important tool is the case file cabinet. In our world, these are huge online libraries called databases. For example, GenBank is like a massive library of every DNA sequence ever found. PDB stores the 3D shapes of proteins, and UniProt keeps a list of what each protein actually does. All the clues neatly stored right here for us. Now, you can't just type a DNA sequence in any old way. For computers to be able to read and understand it, it needs to be in a very specific format. And that's what you're seeing here. It's called the FASTA format. Just think of it like a secret code, or a universal language that all the biology computers in the world can understand. It makes sure every scientist is on the same page. All right, so we have all this data stored in our databases in a special format. But just remember, the real human DNA sequence has cores and cores and cores of these letters. So, my question to you is, when you have a DNA sequence with crores of letters, how in the world do you find one specific gene, like the one for growth hormone? It's like when you want to find a specific video on YouTube or friend on Instagram, you don't scroll through everything, right? What do you use? You use the search bar. Exactly. And biology has its very own super powerful search engine. It's called BLAST. You just give it the sequence you are looking for, and it will search through the entire GenBank database, which has billions of entries, by the way, and find a match in just a few seconds. It's basically the Google for biology. So cool, Ro? Okay, time for a quick exam question. Let's see if you're paying attention. What do you think came first? Studying the 3D structure of single proteins, which we call structural bioinformatics, or mapping entire genomes, which is genome informatics?
Take a second to think.
And the answer is structural bioinformation. It's much, much easier to study the shape of one single protein molecule than it is to read an entire library of genetic code. So scientists were already looking at protein structures way back in the early 1900s, long before we had the technology to read a whole genome. Now let's look at the most famous case our detective bioinformatics ever solved, a case that really changed medicine forever. I'm talking about the Human Genome Project. Back in the 1990s, scientists from all over the world joined forces for one huge mission, to read the entire human DNA sequence, letter by letter. It was a massive, massive task, and it was only possible because of bioinformatics. They published the first draft in 2001 and finally finished the whole project in 2003. And what do we get from all that work? The first complete map of ourselves, our human blueprint. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it has helped us find the genetic causes for so many diseases, and it's now the foundation for developing new personalized medicines. It was a huge victory for science, and it was all made possible by our detective, bioinformatics. All right, my dear children, the case is almost closed. Now it's time for the most important part, your top secret exam file. These are the clues you absolutely must remember. But before we summarize, what's next for our detective? Well, the future is artificial intelligence, or AI. Scientists are now using AI to make our bioinformatics detective even smarter, to help it predict diseases from our DNA even faster and more accurately. So the adventure is really just getting started. Okay, for your exam, I want you to lock these 4 clues in your mind. Are you ready? 1. Bioinformatics is our detective, using computers and maths to solve biology's mysteries. 2. Databases like GenBank are the case files where all the data is stored. 3. BLAST is its super fast search engine. And 4. The Human Genome Project was its biggest solved case, our first complete DNA map. Got it? Super simple. And with that, we close our case for today. But remember, the work of this detective has only just begun. There are so many more mysteries hidden in our DNA. So my question to you is, what great biological mystery will you solve one day? Keep studying hard, my children. You are all going to do wonderfully. All the very best for your exams.